Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you. This is the long-awaited Asus Crosshair 4 Extreme video. Now straight off the bat I need to say, if you want to see all the in-depth testing and everything that we have done, then you've just got to go to the link that I will put at the side eventually to the review on Overclock 3D. I've been working on this with Mole, one of the writers there. But anyway, right, long and short of it, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Crosshair 4 Extreme. If you want to know like all the this does this, this does that, this does something else, then do you know what I mean? We've already looked at all the features and stuff like that. And if you want one of the robot reviewers to tell you what it is, then you just have to go and have a look at all that kind of stuff. If you want to actually know what it's like, all the important stuff about the board, then this is the review that you want to be watching. Long and short of it is, it's going to be coming in, it looks like it's going to be coming in around a £200 mark, because it's quite an expensive board for AMD. And obviously the kind of icing on the cake for the Extreme is the Lucid. And it does work fairly well. I can't help but thinking though, because I've played with a few of these Lucid boards now, and I can't really explain it. It's almost like the AMD chip holds them back. Even if there's like a massive overclock. I mean, with the MSI that we run previously, we're running that at 4.2 gigahertz, and it's still, do you know what I mean? We couldn't, even at 6 cores and everything like that, because we use a 1090. We've not been able to get anywhere near even what we were getting with the P55s. So the Lucid at the moment, do you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. It's almost like an investment in that you're going to be buying this, and the investment side of it is hoping that the drivers and stuff do pay off at a later date and they do get everything running cushy. I would be a little bit apprehensive on spending a £200 motherboard on something that's not entirely finished yet, or at least that's the way I feel. I mean, we were getting reasonable bonuses, but just to show you, I mean, if you look beside me, there's a 5870 in there, and there's a 480 amp, and we were getting, do you know what I mean, about 6,000 3D marks extra over what we would have done with just the 5870. Whereas when we tried this with the P55s, it went from sort of like 18,000 to 30,000. So, do you know what I mean? I don't like the word bottleneck, but there's something, you know what I mean? If it's drivers, then it's drivers, but it's something still not quite working with these yet. And do you know what I mean? On the AMD side of the boards, no matter what manufacturer they come from, because we've had a few now, I'm still not entirely sold. So yeah, the only way I can put it is, it is a bit like an investment. But from a personal point of view, I don't honestly understand why, you know what I mean, you'd want to, for argument's sake, have a 5870 and then a 480 in your rig anyway. I'd always want mine to match. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's brand loyalty, but it wouldn't matter to me whether it was a 480 or a 5870. I'd just like them to be the same. But I think that's just like my kind of anal OCD kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Obviously with the lower end boards, it's brilliant, because, do you know what I mean, you've got 5.8s, 5.770, and then you pick up a 460 cheap, something like that. That makes sense. But when you're going to be shelling out money like these for big cards, it kind of, it makes me wonder whether it's, do you know what I mean, really kind of being aimed at the right kind of people. But do you know what I mean? Being able to pick and choose, do you know what I mean? A lot of people pay a lot of money for options, so do you know what I mean? If nothing else, it does give you a lot of options. Performance-wise, Crosshair Extreme, what's it like? Compared to the MSI that we did previously, we were getting at least 1,600 3D marks with the same cards and the same CPU clocks and the same RAM extra. Now the only difference really is the MSI had the 870A Northbridge, and this has got the 890FX. So do you know what I mean? The Northbridge on it obviously has made a big bit of difference. So you are getting more clocks there. Then again, you're paying an extra 80 quid for the motherboard. Other than that, it almost is like working with, if you forget the way it looks, it's like working with a Crosshair 4 formula. It's pretty much exactly the same. So to kind of make it real simplistic, it is like a Crosshair 4 formula with a Lucid chip. And yeah, do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a difficult one, because I don't want to go kind of like really bashing this, but I'm kind of like a little bit lost into where this is meant to fall in. Because generally, the only thing that I can really see that the Lucid brings to the table is the fact that you can run SLI. So, and that's not possible with AMD chipsets at all. So nailing the Lucid on it means that people can have a Crosshair 4 Extreme, a 1090, and then for argument's sake, if they wanted to run 480 SLI, 470, whatever like that, do you know what I mean, they can do. So that's about the only thing that they, do you know what I mean, that, you know, all those little extras, that's about the only real positive I can see. Now I don't know whether you can hear a fan. I'm going to bring you in a minute and show you, but there's something really annoying on this board, and I mean like so annoying, it's driving me crazy now just sat here listening at it. So I'm just going to give it, you know, I'm going to take you off the tripod now, and I'm going to show you a real raw way, because I've got my screwdriver ready. I'm going to show you something on this board which is driving me bonkers. Right guys, now there's a fan just in there. Okay, now don't forget we've got the noctua going. Now it's not very loud, but there is a fan in there as well. So you need to think that we've got all these fans going, but this is literally the only way I can think of doing it quickly. But just listen a sec. It's gone quiet. Oh my god. So if we pull the screwdriver out, does the noise come back? I'll do it again just to show you. Noise. No noise. Let the screwdriver out. Noise is back. Now, I don't know whether Asus thought that we were still designing motherboards in like the 1990s or the early 2000s, but why on earth would you want a 40mm fan when you know they're going to create loads of noise? Right, so yeah, that 40mm fan, honest to God, absolutely has driven me crackers. I've been sat in the other room with my missus, who's sat here with me at the moment. Say hello, Emma.
Hello.
Say a bit louder, they can't hear you.
Hi guys.
There you go. Yeah, a bit of a spectator. But yeah, we've been sat in the other room having a cup of tea, and when I've been running benchmarks, and I've been able to hear that little fan over everything else. So yeah, that's, do you know what I mean? I honestly don't know why that has been fitted there. Do you know what I mean? Could they not have made a better heatsink or something? That just seems completely crackers to me, and they deserve a slap for it as well, because, do you know what I mean? This is meant to be the top of the range board, and it's just like, yeah, I really don't understand it. But I'm not going to keep going into it, because I know there's other people out there that are going to go mad because I've really gone in, you know, crazy on the fan, but that's driving me nuts. Clocking wise, overclocking wise, it's pretty much Crosshair 4 formula as well. It has reacted exactly the same. It's got us to pretty much the same clocks. It only got us to a 360 base, a 350 base, sorry, we couldn't get 360. And I know my processor will do 400 now thanks to that 120 quid MSI. So, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of little things in there that, do you know what I mean? It is very, it is very much like the Crosshair 4 formula with that Lucid, so you can run an SLI, and that's pretty much where I'm, you know, going to have to leave it really. It clocks, we got 4 GHz out of it stable, do you know what I mean, with the processor, but that's not hard. We haven't been able to get anywhere near what I did with the MSI. So, do you know what I mean? Although a lot of the clock for clock benchmarks did beat the lower end MSI, but as I said, that's more than likely because of the North Bridge, because obviously they're different North Bridges. But other than that, The only way I can explain it quickly without keep going over and over myself time and time again is it is pretty much a Crosshair 4 formula. A little bit of extra real estate down the side of the motherboard and a few more features. Now, because it's the Extreme, it does make me wonder whether this board is going to be better for the more extreme users that are going to be using, for argument's sake, sub-zero cooling and stuff like that. I do wonder whether it will bring a lot more options to the table for them and allow them to get better clocks in the long run. But for the normal, do you know what I mean, enthusiast user that wants a bit of overclocking and, do you know what I mean, wants to have a decent system, I really do think it's a case of buying the name, the fact that you've got the Crosshair Extreme, do you know what I mean? It's going to be one of the better AMD options for you there, and at the end of the day, with a £200 price tag, which is fairly expensive for an AMD board, do you know what I mean, you are going to be paying for it as well. So, long and short of it is a good board, but it's not a great board. It's definitely not as good as I was expecting, which is quite a sad thing to say really, because as we all know, do you know what I mean, I do love my Asus products, but I've got to be realistic with this one. It's not giving me that wow factor that I was expecting. I really was, husky voice today, I really was expecting this to just absolutely blow my socks off, and I was kind of hoping as well that it was going to make this so when I come to tell you guys about it, I was going to be going to you, right, literally, don't buy, you know, Intel this, don't buy that, you want to be getting this board. But sadly it's not like that. For those of you out there that consider it an option, do you know what I mean, it is a, you know, it is a good board. I'm not going to tell you not to buy it, but just watch the whole of the video, sit back and consider, do you know what I mean, are you really going to need this over, for argument's sake, the Crosshair 4 Extreme or even that little MSI? Because yeah, there's a lot of options with the old AMD, and yeah, it's a toughie. So sadly, there's no cut and dry, do you know what I mean? There's no massive revelation. I'm not going to bother making lots and lots of videos with lots of benchmarks. Yes, you have had to endure me talking the whole time, but it was the best way I could get across all the points without dragging it out, showing you screenshots of 20 million things, which, do you know what I mean, at the end of the day show nothing. So hopefully you'll agree with me, this was the best way for me to show you. So yeah, this is Tiny Tom Logan with the Crosshair 4 Extreme review finally. Don't forget to rate, comment, all that malarkey, but go and read the full review on Overclock 3D as well, because that's where all the benchmarks, that's where all the in-depth stuff is. For all of you out there that are going to moan that you didn't get to see stuff, go and read the full review. Yeah, this is Tiny Tom Logan and Emma, out.
Bye.